Death penalty for drug offenders found guilty of drug abuse. Tonight, our focus is Ganduje's suspension and other matters. My guest tonight is Senator Ajibola Basiru, National Secretary, All Progressives Congress. Welcome to Politics Tonight, everyone. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, let's begin with some developments in the polity. We will begin with the National Assembly, where the Nigerian Senate has approved a death penalty for drug offenders found guilty of drug abuse. The Senate's decision follows the consideration of a report by a Joint Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and Committee on Drugs and Narcotics on an act to amend the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act. National Assembly correspondent TVC News reports.
Chairman of the Joint Committee, Senator Tahir Monguno, presenting the report to amend the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act to strengthen the operations of the agency, review penalty provisions, and enhance the power of the agency to prosecute drug-related offences.
In most cases, in the course of enforcing the law or making an arrest, in drug-related cases, is normally a cartel. They organize themselves and obstruct the officers of the NDLA from performing their constitutional mandate, their legal mandate. So therefore, there is need to impose a very steep penalty to deter them from such acts of obstruction of exercising legal powers.
During the clause-by-clause consideration, the Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Ali Ndume, disapproved of the committee's recommendations on Clause 11, which proposes a more lenient penalty for drug offenders of not more than 25 years imprisonment without option of fine, different from what is contained in the Act, which provides a life sentence. The lawmaker proposed a death sentence for anyone found guilty to serve as a deterrent to drug offenders. When his proposal was put to a voice vote, the ayes had it.
I am surprised that the committee is recommending a softer punishment. It was a life imprisonment. In fact, we should change it to death sentence.
It's time to call a spade a spade. If we want to eradicate drug trafficking in Nigeria, the only way to do that is to nip it from the board and to make it a capital offense.
However, some senators strongly disagreed with the new clause and called for a review, but they were overruled by the Senate.
I am accountable to my conscience and to my community. Death sentence is not a matter for a, nay or nay. Everybody should vote so that we will be counted when it matters. Those who vote for death and those who vote for punishment.
The chairman of the committee, Senator Tahir Monguno, while speaking with journalists, advised lawmakers strongly opposed to the decision of the Senate to seek an amendment through a motion, but it's still not a guarantee that their request will be granted. TVC News, Abuja.
Still in Abuja, Justice Silvanus Origi of the FCT High Court has granted bail to former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika and 3 others in the sum of 100 million naira with 2 charges each. While ruling on the bail application, the judge fixed 10th, 11th and 20th of June 2024 for commencement of trial. Helen Osamide Akins reports.
Former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika is being arraigned along 3 others for abuse of office and misappropriation of funds to the tune of 2.7 billion naira. Sirika was docked on a 6-count amended charge before Justice Silvanus Origi of the Federal Capital Territory High Court. Before taking plea, the prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs informed the court of an amended charge by the EFCC dated May 7th and filed on May 8th, which was not opposed by counsels to the defendants. After the charge was read and the defendant pleaded not guilty, the accused counsel urged the court to ensure an expeditious hearing of the case. Kanu Agabi counsel to Sirika informed the court of his client's bail application dated May 6th. All the defendants moved the bail applications and asked the court to be liberal in the bail conditions. Ruling on the bail application, Justice Orji admitted the 3 defendants on bail in the sum of 100 million naira and 2 shorties each in the like sum. The shorties must be responsible citizens with verifiable home address, while one of them must have landed property with certificate of occupancy signed by the FCT minister. The judge ordered that the defendants must not travel out of the country without express permission of the courts.
Well, there are other issues that were introduced, like the Nigerian Airways with the Ethiopia something, which we added to it, so it was not there originally. But Nigerian Air matter is there are 2 counts on it. That's why we amended it.
Justice Oriji ordered that the defendants be remanded in correctional center if they fail to meet the bail conditions. Helen Osamede Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
The Minister of Interior has said more inmates who fled from the Suleja Custodial Center following last month's downpour that damaged the facility have been recaptured. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who failed to disclose the number of those recaptured, explained that security agencies are closing in on a few inmates still on the run. The minister was speaking in Abuja when he inspected ongoing security projects at the medium security custodial facility in Kuje, Abuja.
Yes, we have recaptured a lot of people, and work is actually going on, and we're working with other sister agencies, but the details of that I won't be able to disclose in front of camera for security reasons, not to jeopardize the hard work that our men in uniform are presently putting in. But Nigerians can be rest assured, it's not going to be business as usual, it's business unusual.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with Senator Ajibola Bashiru, National Secretary, All Progressives Congress. Our focus tonight is Ganduje's suspension and other matters. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program, everyone. Now let's talk Kano politics. The Kano High Court has granted an ex parte order restraining the Inspector General of Police, Assistant Inspector General Zone 1 in Kano State, and Commissioner of Police in Kano from inviting, arresting, and harassing the All Progressives Congress board officers of Dawakin Tofa local government responsible for the suspension of Umaru Ganduje. The court also restricted any attempt by the APC National Working Committee, State Council of the party, and APC Acting National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, from using security operatives to arrest or detain the Ganduje ward executives pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. Tonight, to give us some insights into this wrangling in the APC and perhaps some legal angles to this matter, as well as other matters in the polity, I'm being joined by the National Secretary, All Progressives Congress, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, who joins me live from our Abuja studios. Senator, good evening to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, good evening.
Right, so if you would agree with me, this current happening in the APC seems like a deja vu, because this same script was explored successfully in 2020, and it is playing out again in 2024. But as far as the position of the national chairman of a political party is concerned, in this case the APC, what are the circumstances upon which the chairman can be suspended, and who holds the power to suspend the chairman?
Yeah, I think as far as the constitution of the party is concerned, there are levels to taking at the disciplinary action, but I think the ultimate decision about decision on disciplinary matter rests with the National Working Committee, and when it comes to certain decisions like expulsion of a party member, it rests squarely with the National Executive Council of the party. And of course, by our constitution, the final arbiter, the highest organ, is the National Army Convention. So some of the things that are at play now And for me, with respect, I see it more of a political, circus show, if I may use that expression. In the first instance, and we must say, because in your report, it's been said that members of the World Executive of Ganduje World, approached the court. That is not, correct. In fact, what happened was that those people purporting to be members of our party or ESCO of our party at Ganduje World are not members of the world, and they are not members of our political party. And that was the basis upon which a petition was written to the Inspector General of Police to cause those impersonators to be arrested. And you know that impersonation is a matter of a criminal complaint has been made. So I find it very shocking that a court of law will grant an interim injunction restraining the police from carrying out its role under the Constitution and the Police Act to investigate criminal allegations of criminal offences and then initiate prosecution, of course subject to the overriding power of the Attorney General to discontinue such kind of prosecution. And I think it is high time that our judges need to be circumspect about granting such kind of order. So to set the record straight, the position of the party is that those people purporting to say that they are suspended are national chairman. In the first instance, they are not on the official list of the World ESCO. And of course, on my table in the office, we have the list of all the World ESCOs from across the country emerging from the congresses of the party held in the year 2022. And secondly, too, you also see part of the anomaly was that another set of people, one of them that his picture was on a banner contesting for councillorship on the banner of the NNPP, claiming that they are now the authentic World ESCO and they are now acting to also suspend our national chairman. You also recall that the interim order that was obtained by from a Kano High Court had been set aside because upon citing the order in the papers, meanwhile the party has not even been served with any of such order of court, a petition was caused to be written by counsel to the national chairman to the NJC to raise issues about the propriety of granting far-reaching orders in respect of a matter at ex parte stage, and of course matters that ought to be deliberated upon, contested upon at the substantive matter. The position of the law of the country is clear in cases like Ilori and Benson that at interlocutory stage, a court ought not to make decisions or grant orders that will have effect of dealing with the substantive matter. How will you want to deal with orders saying that even superior organ of the party, like the local government, state structure, and national structure cannot interrogate and intervene in a purported decision of a World ESCO? Are we saying that the World ESCO is the highest organ of the party? But happily enough, I think the judge of the Kano High Court had set aside that order. You will also know that, of course, a federal high court in Abuja, which is actually the court says of jurisdiction when it comes to political matters, because necessarily INEC will be a necessary party, had also granted an interim order maintaining status quo ante bellum as far as the position of the national chairman is concerned. So, as I speak, there is no controversy that Dr. Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje is still the national chairman of our party. Earlier today, he was with the governor of Niger State and other top functionaries to commission some projects in Kano. And you know, yesterday too, he was also in Sokoto at the Usman Danfodio University for the Fulfude competition, poetry competition on peace. And of course, tomorrow, he will also be in Kebbi to commission mosque that was constructed by the National Organizing Secretary of our party, His Excellency Argungu who is the National Organizing Secretary and the former Deputy Governor of Kebbi State. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue is a non-starter, and we would rather talk about serious issues, about what our party is doing, about the position of our party, and of course, what the government constituted by our party is doing at the federal level.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to all of that. But for the purpose of clarity, you're saying these people are impersonating members of your party. Does this automatically mean that all these allegations of anti-party activities, igniting two-faction executives in the ward, and payment, or rather non-payment of a statutory party dues are all unfounded? Is that it?
It's not crazy. Before you even talk about raising allegations, you must have what is called in law, vires, authority to raise such allegations. How can people who are not members of our party, who are not members of executive of our party at any level, be raising allegations, and you expect us as serious-minded individual to be interrogating, the correctness or otherwise of such, allegations? As far as we are concerned, they are meddlesome interlopers, and they don't have any basis whatsoever in law or in fact to even begin, to raise the allegation, whether baseless or whether it is as any, element of cogency.
All right. So, Senator, is the party taking any legal action against this people?
Of course, part of the action that has been taken was to write petition to law enforcement agents to allege impersonation. It's a criminal offense for you to claim what you are not, in return. And it's also shocking to now hear that some high courts, granted order restraining Inspector General of Police and law enforcement agents from investigating allegations of impersonation.
All right. Thankfully, you're a lawyer. I know that the judiciary should not intervene in the internal affairs of a political party without clear evidence that the party's internal mechanisms, as outlined in its constitution, have been exhausted. Senator, do you agree that the party perhaps needs to be more firm with issues such as this? And do you agree that this is a misuse of the courts?
I can't. Can you please come again, please?
All right. I wanted to know if you think this is a misuse of the courts, because I know that the judiciary should not intervene in the internal affairs of a political party without clear evidence that the party's internal mechanisms have been exhausted. So I'm asking, do you agree that the party needs to be more firm with issues such as this? And do you also agree that this is a misuse of the courts, especially also on the part of the judiciary?
I think, you see, when you come to issue of political parties, there are clear established judicial decisions as to matters that are within the ambit of political questions, and that the courts are not and ought not to intervene. And when it comes to internal affairs of the party, except when there is a clear breach of the rule of Electoral Act, particularly as regards the issue of nomination, of candidates, the courts are not, expected to intervene in matters of internal affairs of political party. But you find a situation whereby people, will go to court, and whether you go to court or not, the court will still have to look at your case, and then issues can be raised by the defendant as to whether the court has jurisdiction to entertain the case, whether the prospective litigants that have gone to court, whether they have the requisite standing, which is called in law local standing to institute the case, or whether the case itself discloses on the face of it reasonable course of action. So as far as we are concerned, there's really nothing wrong in people trying to ventilate grievances if they have any in court of law. But what one should expect the courts to be circumspect about is granting interim orders upon ex parte application when the other party has not had opportunity of presenting some fashion of his own fact before the court. And the Supreme Court had actually deprecated that disposition, and of course it is not in line with established rule of odi alteram patent, that is at the other side, when at the level of interim application made expertise without any the other side, you are making substantive, granting substantive, prayers, which has effect of, dealing with the substantive, matter that will be litigated upon by the court.
All right. You said this is political. We need to quickly move on to other matters. But quickly, you said this is political. And there are those alleging that this is a battle between Kwakwanso and Ganduje. Do you think the president should intervene, in reconciling both men?
As I'm concerned, Kwakwanso that you mentioned is not a member as of today of our political party. So what kind of reconciliation are you talking about? If he wants to join our political party, there's a venue for him to join political party. So I don't see the basis upon saying issue of reconciliation now. Maybe if our national chairman and Kwakwanso that you mentioned, we are in the same political party, we can talk about reconciliation. But what will say is that it is preposterous for somebody who is not even in the structure of our political party, thinking that because he has the structure of the government of Kano State, that he will be in a position to seek, to determine who is going to be, the chairman or who is not going to be the chairman of our political party. I think if he has that thought, I think that thought, should be perished. But as far as our president is concerned, we are open to accommodate, politicians who seek, to join our political party. But that has to be done within the framework, of the law and the accepted, mode of joining political party.
All right, Senator, let's talk about APC at the state levels. What's the national leadership of the party doing to ensure that crises at the state levels do not further escalate? For instance, the chaos in Benue State between Governor Alia, State Chairman Comrade Agada, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. There was also the aftermath of the governorship primaries in Ondo State and Edo State. Is the party under pressure as a result of this chaos?
I think politics itself is what would I call it, a tension-soaked endeavor. So at any point in time, there will be conflicts of interest, there will be agitation, by groups, and there will be clash of positions by contending power and power blocks within the political party. And I think the duty of the political party at the national level is to see how best the situations can be managed, and then how best can the contending forces be brought together. I think speaking generally, I would say that. Now talking about specifics, as far as Edo is concerned, I think the fallout of the primary election had been well managed by our political party, and you see a situation whereby one of the leading contenders in the primaries, Honorable Dennis Idahosa, is now the running mate to a candidate, Senator Monday Okwebolo. So as far as we are concerned, there are no issues again in Edo State. What we need to do is to, within a couple of weeks now, set up the campaign council of eminent personalities, both within Edo and outside Edo State, to ensure that we hit the ground running, to ensure we have a good showing in the September governorship election. And we are hopeful that we will be able to take back the government house in Benin next year by the grace of Almighty God. On Ondo election, 16 aspirants contested the election. Immediately after the primary election, the political party that's at the national level under the chairmanship of Dr. Umaru Ganduje and myself, we called a meeting of all the aspirants, which was attended by 15 out of 16 aspirants. That itself showed the confidence that the aspirant had in the leadership of the party. And we had interaction with all the aspirants. Some of them expressed their misgivings. Some of them expressed their support for the process. And some of them cancel other aspirants who appear to be dissatisfied. There is a need to close rank and ensure that we work towards the emergence of our party and the flag bearer Governor Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa at the November election. And of course, as I speak today, I can say that quite more than 90% of the aspirants that contested in that election, they are agreeable to work with Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and the political party in ensuring that we have a victory. I'm aware that one of the aspirants, of course, had been going around speaking to the press, claiming he has gone to court. Although as I speak now, our political party has not been served with any court process. But it's also part of politics. And I'm also aware that even the aspirant that have been addressing the press had been reached out by our political leaders, by some of our governors, for him to see that in a political contest there must be a winner. And of course, the task we have to do is to ensure that all of us close rank and ensure that we have a good showing and deliver the victory for our party in November election in Ondo State. So I'm using this medium to say that the party is working seriously to ensure that we harmonize all our positions and ensure that anybody that has one grievance or the other gets to be heard and get placated within the framework of what is doable within the party structure. On in terms of Benue, yes, we have a situation there which we are trying to manage, but we still have to manage it within the structure of the law and internal mechanism of the party. I'm aware that the NWC has tried to reach to the contending parties. That is our leader, the secretary to the government of the federation, and of course, also equally a leader of the party, the governor of Benue State, to see how they could be able to come together in unity and work for the progress of the party. I'm also aware that even traditional institutions in Benue are also trying to look into the matter. But as far as the party is concerned, we still have to work within the framework of the law as it is. As far as we are concerned, the chairman of the party in Benue State is still the person elected at a Congress held in 2022, and that is Comrade Agada. And we are appealing to everyone to see that the interest of the party is far more paramount than whatever contending position that people may want to have, and they should see how they can work together to have an harmonious relationship within the structure of the party in Benue State.
All right, Senator, let's go back to Ondo State. Is the party willing to look into the concerns raised by Senator Jimoh Ibrahim? For him, it says he could not vote for himself as materials were not made available. He said APC didn't comply with its guidelines in that primary election, and he has gone ahead to sue INEC. Is the party willing to look into these concerns, or are you just saying?
I told you that immediately after the election, the primary election was held on Saturday, 28th of April, and it extended to Sunday, 21st of April. Thursday following it, we had a meeting with all aspirants. I don't want to be seen as joining issues with Senator Jimoh Ibrahim as to his claims. And as I told you, he was not the only aspirant in the contest. There were 16 aspirants. The question you ask, you are some quite more than majority of the aspirants have actually congratulated the winner of that primary. So if I want to go into some of his contentions, factually, what I can speak about was that on Saturday, the officers to conduct the elections got to Okitipupa local government very late, and personally he called the national chairman to say that the election should be postponed to be held the following day on Sunday. On the basis of that representation, the primary election committee headed by the governor of Kogi State decided to hold on from completing the electoral process and scheduled the election for Okitipupa local government, where he hailed from, to be held on Sunday. So if he did not now vote on Sunday when the election was scheduled to, whose responsibility, could that have been? Then when they talk about materials were not brought for election, and I think there's a misconception there. The only material for the primary election, because it's an option A4 system, is the resource sheet. So what materials are you talking about? There were no ballot papers, there were no ballot boxes, there were no any other thing to be brought for that election. So when I read that they said materials were not brought, what materials are you expecting to be brought in an election where the members of the party are expected to just queue to be counted and the results are recorded on the result sheet? So the claim of materials not being brought. So I wonder, what materials are you talking about? Are we talking about ballot papers? Would there be ballot papers in an election that is queue and be counted option A4 system? But I don't want to go so much as a party leader to his contention. It is natural that when you engage in a contest, you may feel bad that you did not emerge triumphant. But what I want to also let him know is that even the senatorial position he is holding today, he was not a sole aspirant at that contest. There were also other people that contested with him, and when he emerged, the party rallied around and ensured that he emerged victorious in that election. And I'm sure as a politician, that would not also be his bus stop in terms of aspiration. So I think he should, as a party man, sit his sword and ensure that he works together with the party leadership in Ondo State and ensure that we have victory for our party and our candidate in the November governorship election. That would be advice to him, being a fellow distinguished colleague. I was in the 9th Senate. He's now in the 10th Senate.
All right, Senator. It's very interesting to hear you confirm to me tonight that Comrade Agada is still the substantive chairman of APC in Benue State. Because, this tussle over the political structure of that state has been on for so long. But for the purpose of clarity, once again, is there a written or an unwritten law in the party's constitution that recognizes 7 governors as the rightful leaders of the party at the state level?
I don't think there's any doubt that you say that the governor, Reverend Father earlier, is not a leader of the party in Benue State. But being a leader of the party of Benue State does not mean that you will act not in line with the constitution. It's just saying, just as if the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will say that because he's leader of the party, he no longer recognize the party structure and the constitution of the party. The constitution of the party is clear as to how people will hold party offices, including chairman at state level and all other positions. The party position constitution is also clear as to how people are to be removed from that office. So if there has not been compliance with the procedure as to removal of someone from office, I think it will be prosperous for the national secretary of the party to say that because you have a lot of respect and deference to the office of the governor, and I say this, I have a lot of regard and reference for all our governors in our party, but we must act within the ambit of our constitution and the guidelines that have been put in place to ensure that the party is run on the basis of law, justice, and equity.
All right, Senator, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will move on to other matters. You're watching Politics Tonight. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the total removal of fuel subsidy.
The first subsidy is gone. Water will never I take is threat.
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight, our focus is Ganduje's suspension and the position of the National Working Committee and other national issues. And I've been speaking with Senator Ajibola Bashiru, National Secretary, All Progressives Congress. Senator, thank you so much for staying with us on Politics Tonight. Now, let's move on with this conversation. Do you see APC retaining power in Ondo State? And what strategies are in place to take over power in Edo State?
Ondo State is concerned, from available empirical evidence on ground, the party to beat in any election in Ondo State is our party, the APC. In fact, at the risk of being sounding boastful, I will say that there's no other political party having electoral value and worth in Ondo State apart from the All Progressive Congress. And you go by the fact that the 3 senators presently occupying positions are from the APC, and of course the House of Representatives and the House of Assembly overwhelmingly are from the All Progressive Congress. And I also know that the track record of developmental strides of the late Governor Akeredolu and the consolidation being done by present Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa is compelling enough to show that our party is a party that is the first go-to as far as people of Ondo State is concerned. Of course, we cannot rest on our horse. In a matter of weeks, we're going to set up high-powered campaign council for Ondo State, and we're going to campaign, knock on every door, speak to the people of Ondo State, and of course go to public places and of course private houses to say that our party is the party that should be elected in the November election. We are equally optimistic of victory by the grace of Almighty God in Edo election, and the signals are there. Our party on a daily basis is consolidating, and the people who who are not in our party are coming to join and showing solidarity with our party. And when you realize that the candidate of our party is presently a sitting governor, winning an election just about a year ago, and of course the deputy governor is also somebody who had won election back to back in his constituency of House of Rep. So we are very optimistic that the work that our leaders in Edo is doing, and the fact that we are able to get our party solidified immediately after the primaries will also be able to show that our party is right on track to win the election. And I saw some gory pictures of the GRA being submerged in water in Benin City, and that speaks to the kind of government that the outgoing governor of Edo State has been put in place. And when you also realize that even the candidates of the other political parties are not people who are even in tune with the reality of what is happening in Edo State. I think Edo State know that candidates are both Senator Monday Okwebolo and the deputy governorship candidate. They are people who are well attuned with the realities of Edo people, and Edo people would definitely want to elect those that will be able to identify with their challenges, with their aspirations, and work towards consolidating and achieving development for the people of Edo State.
Right. So because this is the second off-cycle elections that will be conducted by INEC since the 2023 general election, How do you think INEC can ensure credible conduct of the election this time again?
I think largely INEC should be given, kudos for initiating programs, guidelines, and organizing elections that are getting more and more credible. In a political contest, there will be winners and there will be losers. I will also like to advise us politicians to ensure that we critically interrogate why election was lost. Election could be lost due to so many factors, not necessarily because the process is not credible. And when you look at the outcome of the various election petitions filed against the 2023 general election, you will discover that except in cases where there were internal issue of political party leading to some other people being substituted as candidates, the scorecard of INEC had largely has been very high. And in the off-season election that was done in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states, our party, yes, though we lost in Bayelsa state, we are still at the tribunal, but the observers at the election have also attested to the fact that largely the election was done with utmost best on the part of the INEC. So we should not try to bring down institutions of democracy because we are not winning in a particular contest. Even after the off-season governorship election, by-elections and rerun elections were also conducted, and of course our party has had a fair share of winning. Of course, we lost also in some constituency, but the fact that we lost in few of the constituency will not mean that the election itself is not credible. And for us as political party, particularly the APC, will continue to re-energize our party, will continue to engage with critical stakeholders and those that will be able to ensure that given a credible, fair and fair election, our party will continue to win in that election. But for some political parties, and you can go around as an organization, how many political party is still active as a political party after the 2023 general elections? You cannot run political party as a seasonal activity. On a day-by-day basis, we have activities going on in our secretariat. One of the cardinal position of the NWC now is that there must be activities across all the states and local government. Our offices across the country are active, that at the state level, local government level, at zonal level, activities have been done. One of the innovations that we have also put in place is to have zonal coordinators among our governors in the 6 geopolitical zone to ensure that we continue to revitalize, energize, mobilize, and conscientize our members ahead of any political contest. So if we are doing this and we are reaping benefit or winning election, people cannot now castigate the umpire for their loss at the election. It's like when you have a football team, you refuse to train, you refuse to develop strategy for winning, and you are bringing referee for your loss, woeful loss as such football contest.
All right, Senator, I've been talking about how many political parties are still active after the 2023 elections. I'd like you to respond to this allegation. Accusing fingers have been pointed at your party by a PDP chieftain. Chief Dele Momodu has blamed the issues facing his party on an alleged attempt by the ruling All Progressives Congress to destabilize the opposition. He says the ruling party is plotting to crush the opposition. I mean, he went on accusing President Bola Tinubu of stifling opposition, even after thriving as an opposition leader before his party dislodged the PDP as the ruling party. As the National Secretary of the APC, I want you to react to this accusation.
I will say, with respect to my brother Dele Momodu, as he said, talk is very cheap. You see, in what way is our party and the president crushing opposition? Are we arresting anybody from mobilizing for his own political party? Are we harassing anybody from organizing rallies? Are we in any way disturbing anybody from canvassing his own idea. So the truth is that I don't really know, with respect, Mr. Dele Momodu to be a grassroots politician or to be a very well-grounded politician. It's not just enough to grant interview. The question you ask is, Mr. Dele Momodu, in all his political trajectory, what has been his track record in terms of mobilization of people? So what our political party is doing, and of course you cannot say that we should not organize our affairs in such a way as to position ourselves to continue to be relevant, to continue to win in all elections, because some other people are lethargic and they are not ready to do what they're supposed to do. We, on a regular basis, continue to engage with the people. I told you earlier today, NWC members, led by the national chairman, who are in Niger to commission projects of our government that's been done by our governor of Niger State, Bago. Then, about less than 2 weeks ago, we were also in Gombe State to commission some projects and use that opportunity to address the teaming supporters of our party at Pantami Stadium, the Gombe State in Pantami. So, and we have also been to the South, Southeast, Southwest, and so on and so forth. So on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, we organize. Let people come to our secretariat. You see BF of activities going on almost on a daily basis. Go to other people's secretariat, other people, political party secretariat. What are they doing there? The place look like a ghost town. So are we going to rest on our hearts because some other people feel agitated that we are trying to reposition our party, to continue to engage with the people, to continue to mobilize them, and to continue to see to depict our party as a party of first offer for Nigerian people?
All right, Senator, as we wrap up tonight, the Tinubu presidency is almost a year old on the 29th of May. How will you describe the journey so far?
I will say that the government of our party that is being headed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a reformist government. And when you have a reformist government, you will definitely have to confront with certain abnormalities, and of course it will also lead to some level of not having necessary comfort for a certain level. So I would say that it's been a challenging 1 year for our administration, but as challenging as it were, we can also beat our chest as to achievements being made at different level of government. First, in terms of making revenue available for infrastructure development and social welfare, and I think this administration has been able to do that by taking a bold step to ensure that we are able to ensure that more resources are available to our levels of government to be able to tackle infrastructure deficiencies and also to address issue of social welfare needs of our people in terms of education, health, and so on and so forth. In terms of health, you will also discover that the administration is working in not only rejuvenating our existing health facilities, but ensuring that each amount of investment is going to the health sector to ensure that we reposition that sector, which is very critical to the welfare and survival of our people. Of course, in terms of infrastructure, even those who are critics and residents in Abuja will see the tremendous work that is being done in rejuvenating the infrastructure or in the capital territory. Abuja has now become a big work center for a lot of infrastructure activity. And the same thing also goes for the coastal road that is being done, and as well as many other critical infrastructure that are being put in place. In the steel sector, which is also critical to our industrialization drive, the president and his team are working very seriously to ensure that that sector is also being able to get the new lease of life to ensure that it will serve as catalyst for development. In the area of diversification of our economy, the creation of the blue and marine economy has opened up a vista for us to be able to explore the fast economic potential that we have as a coastal nation. So what the president is doing is to create and have a building blocks for a viable economy that will be productive and not be based on a rental basis, whereby people will just be getting money on the basis of arbitrage without any genuine productive activity backing it. And you see the investment drive in terms of getting foreign direct investment and getting even portfolio investment in Nigeria has also been yielding, result in that regard. Be that as it may, we are also not oblivious of the part that Nigerians are facing some challenges in terms of the shock that this reform program has brought, and want to continue to appeal to Nigerian people to show understanding and plead with them that at the end of the day, we'll have cause to see that the effort are repositioning our economy, repositioning our country will yield positive results and give a rewarding future, not only for the present generation, but for the future generation of Nigerian people.
All right, Senator, thank you so much for joining us this evening on Politics Tonight. Thank you for your insights tonight. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much. And we look forward to more conversation.
Thank you very much, too, for having me.
Thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. Using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good night, everyone.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather? Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Raining season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100